Moving on to the back side, we're starting off with our no guard all the way open, and we're creating our second guideline. Once we're done setting in this guideline, we're then going to slightly close the lever midway and all the way close and attack that initial guideline. We are right on top of the occipital bone, so you want to make sure you spend more time here and detail as much as possible. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to the one guard all the way open and create our third guideline. We're going to use this same guard and its lever to soften up this line and get ready for the half guard. Now that the line is soft enough, we're moving on to our half guard, and we're going to use its corners and its lever to erase the line completely. The high density of the hair follicles and also the occipital bone does obscure the fade, so you want to make sure you detail as much as possible here and make sure everything's even. Now that we're done with our lower guards, we can move on to our two guard all the way open and create our fourth guideline. This guideline is going to help us soften up this line and get ready for the 1.5 guard. Now that we're done softening up the line with the 2 guard, we can move on to the 1.5 guard and erase the line completely. Sometimes after using the 1.5 guard, there's still a faint line, so switching over to your 1 guard all the way open and using its corners would definitely help. Using our clipper over comb method, we're going to go ahead and blend the varietal ridge and make it as smooth as possible, connecting it to the sides. I'm using my vertical cuts to make sure I blend, and I'm using my horizontal cuts to make sure I debulk as much as possible. Here, I'm making sure the hair is nice and saturated and laid down and combed down properly. When doing clipper over comb, I always like to make sure the hair is a little bit saturated so it can hold it down and I can pick it up properly with the comb. When you're using the clipper over comb method, you always want to make sure you pick up the hair with the comb and then cut it with your cutting blade. Now that we're done detailing the fade, we can move on to the front line and go ahead and debulk the hairline with the one guard all the way open. Now that we're done debulking the front line, we can move on to our Gouda effects and start off in the middle, working our way to the sides. You want to make sure not to press too hard and also go slow enough that the hair fits into the teeth of the trimmer, because if not, then the hair is going to shift and you won't line them up properly. You also want to make sure to keep the corners as natural as possible and not to go too deep in. You also want to make sure you keep the vertical bars as natural as possible as well. This will help the fade look more complete. Now that we're done lining them up, we can move on to our Turkish razor and Dermy Premium blades and make them as crispy as possible. But before we do that, we're going to make sure we apply some shave gel so that the razor can glide better. Once you put the razor into the blade, you want to make sure you stretch the skin as much as possible with your opposite hand and keep the razor at a 45-degree angle. This lowers the likelihood of you cutting someone. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Also, if you guys want to support the channel, go ahead and leave a super thanks down below or go ahead and follow the Instagram.